Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again, and I'm here to wrap up the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy by doing a review on Batman Begins. Now, if you've seen my previous two review videos, you'd know that I reviewed The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. I've kind of entered the trilogy all over the place. This is the first movie in the trilogy, and it's actually the last movie that I ended up watching, but I've now seen all three of them and definitely have my set opinions on each of the movies, and I definitely wanted to continue on and post a review for this movie. So I'm sure most of you have seen it, you know what it's about, but Batman Begins is basically the backstory or the build up or the lead up to how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, and that's essentially that. You do get some of the same characters from The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises in this one as well. Of course, you have a different villain to The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises, but yeah, this is essentially the backstory on Bruce Wayne and how he became Batman. So what did I think of this movie? Well, coming off The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, I absolutely love The Dark Knight. It's amazing. The Dark Knight Rises I thought was very mediocre and fairly disappointing. This one, I've got to say, I thought was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Not quite as much as The Dark Knight, which I'm going to get to later on in the video, but this one comes very, very close. I thought the storyline was absolutely fantastic. It does sort of have a fairly slow beginning, but it soon picks up and it is fairly interesting. Now, I've really got to mention Christian Bale's performance as Bruce Wayne and Batman in this movie. First and foremost, I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and out of the trilogy, he definitely gives the best performance as Batman in this movie, I thought. He's great in the other two movies, don't get me wrong, but I just thought the character of Batman was absolutely fantastic in this one, and I thought it was his best performance. The other characters, however, I'm kind of the opposite. They weren't bad. You had the butler Alfred, Jim Gordon, and of course Morgan Freeman was in this one as well. I felt their characters were kind of weak compared to the same characters in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. They weren't bad or anything, don't get me wrong, but I just felt their characters and their performances weren't quite as good as the last two films. But Christian Bale certainly gave the best Batman performance in this movie. Absolutely amazing. There were a lot of great action sequences with Batman, which looked awesome. He was flying around, plenty of fight scenes, and just absolutely amazing. And also, I didn't find Batman's voice as annoying in this one as I did the last two. I absolutely loved the look of Gotham City in this one, probably more so than the other two films, especially the slum area. I thought they did a fantastic job capturing that. I really liked a lot of the wet weather, the rain, looked absolutely fantastic. Absolutely loved the Batcave behind the waterfall. I thought that was absolutely awesome. But yeah, this is just an all-round absolutely fantastic film. The only thing that makes The Dark Knight better for me than this movie is the Joker. The Joker is an amazing villain, I think, and definitely better than the one in this one. Well, there were kind of two villains in this one. The Scarecrow, he was pretty cool. I did like him. Kind of unique for a villain, how he wore that stack on his head and he gassed everyone and they hallucinated. I thought that was really, really good, but I mean, you're never going to beat Heath Ledger as the Joker. You just can't. So Batman Begins, not quite as good as The Dark Knight. Very, very close though, but certainly a hell of a lot better than The Dark Knight Rises, which I still think is a rather mediocre film, and I think a few fans of the movie are a little bit blind and won't admit that it was kind of a disappointment. disappointing end to the trilogy, but whatever. But yeah, Batman Begins, absolutely fantastic. This is a great introduction to Batman. Now, I never really watched any of the earlier films. I think I've seen Batman Returns once. I certainly never really read any of the comics or got into the cartoon. But, you know, if you're new to Batman, I definitely recommend the Christopher Nolan trilogy, or at least Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. They are two absolutely exceptional films, but yeah, this is just all round absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give Batman Begins a score of 4 out of 5. Let me know what you think of this movie if you've seen it before, and thank you for watching.